Actually left out.
So I lost it there.
Oh, you can do this?
This year, subsequently.
Yes. Well, we have two friends. They said all 10 at first. Yeah, I don't know.
Actually, no. 6 or 7 more times.
You totally do need to do it.
I think it was the 30th anniversary of the
I don't even care. That's why we saw
when Sean, we could do it's not hard, I mean, I just do it clear.
Yeah, so I was talking to Brian, the guy who was like,
They do. They're going to have to tell
he said it just goes down once or twice a week. Then the creamer he orders it.
Brooks on.
So it's like till an hour away. Yeah, he said they're working on some and they're working on some. They're going to depend on things go this year. Yeah, she's okay. That's why I get to turn her.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, whoever, there's someone without, like, that I can use.
He's kind of
Good.
I don't know who that is. I've been walking outside.
Good morning, everyone. I ask you to please rise for the opening prayer and the pledge of allegiance. We'll be convening the Commissioners' meeting. Dear Heavenly Father, we gather this morning to conduct the business of the county. We also gather today to celebrate the youth in our area and some employees for their dedicated service. We're thankful for the treasures of children from you, and it warms our hearts to see them use their talents and achieve goals and dreams. We will recognize and celebrate a few of those young, brilliant minds this morning. Lord, we'll also recognize others this morning with their service to our constituents. We're blessed to have a workforce that serves the county in many difficult types of work. We wish one of those dedicated servants well this morning as she enters the next season of her life. Bless her and her family as she'll have many years to enjoy the fruits of her labor and joy of life. Father, next week we'll celebrate the birthday of our nation. As stated in our pledge, this nation was founded under you. You have blessed us with great freedoms that other nations can only dream. Let us not take those freedoms and your grace for granted. We remember the many who fought and died for this land, those who are currently serving, and the police that protect us from the evil and chaos. We pray for our leaders. Help them to find unity and not division and strife. May they honor the Constitution and look to you for guidance each day. We know our accomplishments as a great nation are only possible through what you have granted and provided, so we give you the glory. We pray this morning that we will seek you in your guidance as a nation and not turn away with self-indulgence and pride, thinking our ways are the path. Lord, we ask you for your guidance, wisdom, and clarity in our meeting this morning. These things we humbly pray in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Morning, everyone. Commissioner Massar will not be able to join us this morning, so we'll convene the Commissioners' public meeting at this time and ask for approval of the minutes of the previous meeting.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so carried. Do we have any public comment on agenda items only at this time? Any online?
None.
Okay, hearing none, we'll move on. Director?
Okay, 1.6. Acknowledge the Montgomery area Windbreakers team as national champions at the National Kid Wind Challenge in Boulder, Colorado. Peter Rule, coach. Elizabeth Zettelmoyer, chaperone and assistant to coach. Waylon Barrows, Lyle Hugler, Isaiah Mowry, Weston Sherman, Briar Walk.
Okay, we have Peter and Elizabeth come up and say a few words on behalf of these fine young. And yes. Could you pull the microphone on top of the table there?
Sure.
Right there. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good morning.
Good morning.
Boys, could you stand, please? So these are the 5 gentlemen I took with me to Colorado to compete in a national wind energy competition in May. And Lyle, do you mind holding up our hardware, if you will? So they worked very hard over a couple months. They worked very hard over a couple months to work toward this achievement, and we had to go through 3 steps to get there. Do you want them to talk?
Yeah, have them come up because we're live streaming this and the
absolutely.
camera's next to.
Come on up, guys.
I'll move out of the way, you guys.
You all look very sharp, by the
Yeah.
way. I noticed the ties all
I like the
match.
ties, yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us about
Go ahead, Lyle.
your experience.
So we had to go through 2 other competitions to get there. We started in Penn State Hazleton, and we had to qualify top 3 to go to the state in the main Penn State campus. And if to continue to the national, you had to place first, and we placed first to make it to the national competition.
Nice. And how many teams were out there for nationals?
14.
Wow.
Wow, that's great. And how long of a competition was it? A couple days or a
It
day or
was 3 or 4 days.
3 or 4 days? How'd you like Colorado?
It was cool.
So what exactly did you all do?
So we had to make a wind turbine and test it and have a presentation to back it up.
And did you make it out there in Colorado?
Well, we made one in the classroom and we took it apart and reassembled it out there.
Gotcha.
What sparked your interest in the wind turbine?
Well, so it just started as a poll. He asked everybody who wanted to do it, and we had to go through steps because there were so many kids that wanted to do it and not everybody could do it. And we had 5 teams in our classroom, and I just wanted to do it because it sounded like it was fun.
That's cool. And you're national champions. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
How old are you all?
11.
Okay. 10. There you go. You hang in there another year. So how did you get engaged with it?
Well, a few years ago, I attended a few years ago, through our school district, Montgomery, I attended a STEM training in Canton at our one of our IU sites, and that's where I was introduced to the Kid Wind competition. A few years went by, and I finally got the equipment out and started messing around with it. And I actually started with teams about 4 years ago. I took one team to Penn State for the competition, and then the following year we were preparing 3 teams, and then COVID hit, so we took 2 years off. And then this year we picked it back up again, and I started it as an after-school club. Had plenty of interest, had 16 kids. I created 5 teams. They all went to regionals. The top 3 went to Penn State. And then this was the team that won and was invited to nationals. There were 14 elementary teams, but there were over 85 teams between high school, middle school, and elementary teams competing from all across the country. And they also had collegiate teams there as well. A lot of the engineering schools, such as Penn State, Texas A&M, for example, had their own wind engineer teams there. And those teams were comprised of about 25 students per team that were going into these fields. So it was really neat to have all of these kids from elementary all the way through college who were just playing with toys all the way up to actually constructing their own turbines from scratch using professional tools that are getting hired right out of college in the engineering field of energy. So it was really cool for these guys to see what the possibilities are. So, but yeah, the interest has been there for a few years for myself, so I just hope to keep it going in our district.
Well, thank you for doing that.
Fantastic.
I mean, that's the kind of initiative that a lot of times our citizens don't understand and see that teachers do. They go to a conference, they bring it back, and they put it all together, and we appreciate that because, you know, these kids are going to be inventing something, I'm sure, right? Yeah.
For sure.
For sure. I mean, you already have invented something, so you'll be doing others, but we appreciate all of you doing it. We appreciate your teacher and the parents and caretakers who take care of you. I bet they were excited, right? Yeah, they couldn't stop talking about it. So we appreciate that very much. We're really honored to have you all here today.
Well, we thank you for having us. Appreciate that.
We have a certificate for each one of you, and it reads the Windbreakers of Montgomery, Pennsylvania Outstanding Achievement Award. This award is presented and will have your name on it for outstanding achievement in the National Kid Wind Challenge, Boulder, Colorado 2023, demonstrating exemplary teamwork, extraordinary ideas, and being an inspirational citizen of Lycoming County, Pennsylvania, and signed by the 3 commissioners. So we'd like to present each one of you a certificate and then get a picture with you.
Okay.
So great, thank you.
Thank you.
Come over, slide over here.
Identify you by your tie.
Slide over and we'll take a photo.
All right, 1, 2, 3. I'll send it to you too.
Yeah, absolutely. Parents, why don't you come up and we'll do one with, why don't you guys take a step forward and they can slide.
Good. We've done this before too.
You can be right in the middle.
All right, ready? And I'll send this to Pete too so that he can send it to you guys. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
I am so sorry.
So one of the great things that we get to do is we get to honor people in our county that do great things, and there's nothing better than celebrating our youth. So how about another round of applause? And thank you, parents, for what you do. Okay, next we have service awards.
All right, 2.1. Commissioners were recognizing the following individuals on their service to Lycoming County. In the District Attorney's Office, Calvin Irwin, 10 years.
Okay, we have the district attorney here. Good morning, Ryan.
Good morning.
Calvin.
Good morning, Commissioners, Director. Thanks for the opportunity to speak today. It's a pleasure, especially in light of the fact that standing to my left is Detective Irvin. He exemplifies, quite honestly, what a dedicated county employee should be. Day in, day out, he answers the call, directive of whatever comes down from either myself or Chief Simpler, including, he goes above and beyond. Status quo, complacency does not sit well with Calvin. He's come to me and asked that he develop a program, essentially. We all know how important these have become today in the world of evidence. And he's kind of the forensic data extraction guy. If we get a search warrant, he's going to go in and figure out how to extract what we need pursuant to that warrant. It really advances prosecutions and various cases that come before the prosecutor's office. He's the liaison for the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force. We work with Delaware County. He's the TFO with the FBI for similarly related reasons. And that's in addition to his daily tasks, issuing subpoenas, perhaps going out and speaking with witnesses, inmate transports. It's just whatever the DA's office asks, whatever the county has asked of Detective Irvin, he has complied without complaint, without hesitation. So it's my distinct privilege to have had the opportunity to work with him for almost 4 years. Frankly, I'm going to miss him. A couple of the other guys too, but he's a good man. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Calvin? Calvin, like to say something?
No, I'm good.
Well, we want to thank you for your service. I work with you next door. You truly are dedicated, and you're always prepared. Even right down to multicolored pens that you got there. So, yep, blue, red, and black. I see you're always ready to go. And you've worked with several departments in the county, and you always step up to the challenge. And we appreciate everything you do for the constituents. Thank you.
Calvin, thank you, Detective. I mean, one thing he didn't mention is that obviously it's not always the safest job, right? You're going out and sometimes you're dealing with people, and I know he knows that, so it's not that he didn't say it because he doesn't know, he knows it. Sometimes you're going out and you're dealing with people who are not real nice and who have real bad motives to hurt people in our community. And so we appreciate you doing that. We appreciate you taking the risk. And then on top of it, it sounds like you're coming back, notwithstanding what can sometimes be a very dangerous experience, coming back with a really good attitude. And that we appreciate also. So on behalf of the people of this county, we say thank you.
Thank you.
Want to get a photo with you?
Yeah.
Cody, Jerry, Ryan, Martin Simpler.
Show up, this is what happens.
You're not getting out of this.
All right, I got it. I'll send it to you. 1, 2, 3.
Now our next one exceeds by 4 times. So, well, almost 4. Yeah, give him, unless she wants to stay in our year. Okay.
Commissioners, in voter services, we'd like to recognize Mary Kay Camp for 39 years of service.
Wow.
Corey, have her, come on up.
Come on, Mary Camp.
Come here.
Good morning. Thank you for having us here today to see so many, and it's nice to see so many people here to recognize Mary Kay Camp, to wish her well on her retirement, to recognize her for 39 years of service to the county. 27 of those years were in voter services since 1996. And I've been lucky enough to be here with her for 10 of those years. Although whether it's 1 year, 10 year, or 30 years, when you work in elections, we tend to round it all up to 1 million.
Yeah.
So congratulations, Mary Kay, on putting in 1 million years. The county has been extraordinarily lucky to have Mary Kay in this office for this long, because it takes a special breed to do this work. She has spent decades helping thousands of county residents to exercise their right to vote. Thousands of people who owe her thanks, even if they don't know that they do. They do. And Mary Kay did it all without ever raising her voice. Now, once or twice, I recall her hanging up the phone and saying, wow, that person was a real pain in the neck. But that was only once or twice that I can remember. She has been a career public servant, and the county will have a terribly difficult time replacing her. Now, elections have changed a lot in 30 years. And something to say about that if we can all convince her to take a few steps to the side here and speak after I'm done. Some of that work has been made easier by technology, but at the same time, the politics have become more polarized, the margins have gotten closer, and we're seeing unprecedented turnover in county election offices since 2020, all over the state. There's even a constituency out there who disbelieves the outcome of our elections. They think that all the hard work the county does to carry out its elections is part of a conspiracy. And they should try saying that to Mary Kay and to other people who work in these offices. She gave decades to this office. Or to say that to the 100 or so county employees, nearly 20% of the county's workforce, who comes together with a shared purpose twice a year to make democracy happen on election day and on election night. Because that's who they're talking about when they level those accusations. It has been a pleasure for me and an honor to watch this county's election operation firsthand and to have Mary Kay as part of that effort with us. Because the one thing that has not changed in elections, whether you go back 30 years or 39 years or however many years you want to go, it's that elections still depend on people. People of integrity in the positions that matter. And the voters of this county have been very well served by Mary Kay. We will be poorer without her. But she has earned a well-deserved retirement, and I'm happy to give that to her and to celebrate it here today. One thing though, Mary Kay, and on election morning, when the rest of us have to be in the office at 6 a.m., we don't want to hear about it. Okay? Just keep that to yourself. Yeah, we'll call you. We'll look you up. But thank you, Mary Kay, and congratulations.
Thank you. I just want to thank everybody for coming out. It's been great working for the county. I worked over 50 elections, and I've made lots of friends, and they're going to be lifetime friends. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. You know, no matter where you go, when you walk into an office or a business, the first impression you walk into is one that lasts. And when you walk into voter services, you're greeted with your smile and your coworkers. And it's hard to smile over there. It's hard because the public can be cruel. And we've seen that. And I agree with Forrest. I've never, ever heard you raise your voice. And I've known you for 30-some years. I don't think you're capable of yelling. I don't think it's in you.
Just don't get me mad.
But your sweet, kind disposition is who you are, your character, your integrity. And I agree with Forrest. The county's going to be poorer without you. But at the same time, you've served the constituents extremely well, and we owe you enormous a debt of gratitude. And we wish you well many years to come in your retirement with your family, and thank you for your service from everybody in this county.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Mary Kay, where were you before you were at Voter Services? Where did you start? And the reason I'm asking is because it's a great inspiration for people who are thinking they want to come to work for the county or who are working. So tell us about your work history.
I think one of my first jobs was babysitting, and then I worked at Sears.
What about the county, I mean?
County?
Yeah, when you came.
I worked in assessment for over 11 years, and then they privatized the office, and I decided I wanted to stay with the county. So I went to HR the very next day, and I says, I want to, whatever comes open, let me have that position, and this came open. So, and that's when I started Voters.
So it was assessment, okay, right, and then we privatized it, yeah. So it's fortuitous that you went there, because Commissioner Metzger's absolutely right. I mean, I've been running for office for a long time, going in, and you always are just an incredible first impression for people who don't know anything about the county and who've never had any experience engaging with the county. And that says a huge amount, because what it says to the public is that we're here to try to help you, and we appreciate that. Appreciate what you did, you know. I think the other thing that people have to really recognize is what Mr. Lehman said, which is that the elections have changed a lot.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
In the past, 40 years ago, they didn't have the high. You had an election, it happened, it was over. Now it seems to consume us almost 12 months of the year. So we appreciate that you never let that get to you, and that you never let it eat away at what you obviously realize is the bigger picture. And we appreciate that you do that. So you do deserve the retirement, and we wouldn't ask you to stay another year, although maybe we would.
I would.
Another presidential election.
Right, another president, the rematch. But thank you very much.
Thank you.
Really appreciate what you've given
I remember
us.
when you worked at Sears.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I remember that. Yeah, you had a smile on your face down there. Yeah.
Well,
Any of your
let's-
coworkers like to say anything on your behalf? Sure. Okay.
Every time I've worked election day and or doing O&A, Mary Kay's always been calm and always been forthright with everybody. And she's definitely going to be a loss to the department and to the county for retiring. But she definitely deserves it to spend with her grandbabies.
Yeah. That's a good description. She's always calm. Always calm. A lot of times calm before the storm over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you again. We have a gift here to give to you, and also we like to get a picture with you. If it's okay? All right. You have any family here?
No.
Okay.
They're watching though, I think.
Hello?
You want to get one just with her?
Sure, and then we'll have fun with the department. Come on up, we'll do it under the flags here.
One, two, three.
Coworkers for us.
No joke.
We're going to get
Slide in.
Right.
She thought we just went to coworkers. This is about you. Do I have to get down? Today your life is too short.
Maybe.
Right, exactly. Smiling president.
Yeah.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
All right, moving
Okay,
on to
reports.
reports. Kaylin, approved accounts payable cash requirement.
Morning, Caitlin.
Good morning, Commissioners. Presented for your ratification are invoices due through July 5th of 2023 to be paid on June 28th, 2023 in the amount of $1,134,105.39. 40.29% is being funded through the general fund at $456,897.55. 4.61% is being funded by grants and other sources at $52,287.30. 22.30% is being funded by RMS at $252,909.99. And 32.80% is being funded by escrow at $372,010.55.
Okay, any questions? Motion.
I move to approve.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so carried.
Thank you.
Thank you, Caitlin.
Moving on to personnel actions. Jessica.
Morning, Jess.
Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning, Director. Seeking your approval on the following personnel actions as conditional offers of employment, subject to the successful completion of a background check and other employment conditions.
Okay, can I have a motion?
Well, I need to read
Yeah,
them.
go ahead.
Yep.
I'm sorry, go.
So for RMS, Randy Ritter, recycling labor, full-time replacement, hired at $14.50 per hour, anticipated to start on July 10th. Also for RMS, Kristen Perez, resource recovery assistant manager, Full-time replacement hired at $50,641.50 per year. Anticipated to start on July 10th. And for the prison, Zane Hill hired as a CO1 full-time replacement at $20 per hour, and he is anticipated to start on July 16th.
Okay, motion?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second. All fair side?
Aye.
Aye, so carried.
I also wanted to share that we have 3 CO positions remaining open, and that is the lowest number that we've had in the last year and a half. So very exciting news for our team, and especially for the prison team. The staffing there has been difficult over the last year and a half,
We
2
wanna
years.
Thank you and the prison board, everyone that's been involved in tackling this problem with not just our county, but across the state. And I was yesterday at CEDACOG, and they were talking that their prisons are slowly recovering. They're
Right.
getting back to full staff also. So it's good to hear that things are going in the right direction. So thank you. This time we'll recess Commissioners' public meeting for the salary board. Convene the salary board this time.
All right, salary board, seeking your approval on the following salary board actions. Request to apply a 1% compensation adjustment per the compensation policy in human resources, King Angle, recruitment specialist, pay grade 6, adjustment 1%. Request to approve.
Can we do these separately?
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay.
As category. Yeah.
Okay, can I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
And a second.
I'll second it.
All fair side?
Aye.
Aye, so carried on that.
All right, request to approve changing the following position to an exempt status in Resource Management Services. Resource Recovery Assistant Manager, pay grade 9, full-time, 80 hours per pay period.
Okay, can I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so carried.
All right, now, big list. Request to add an 85-cent compensation adjustment to the following employees. In assessment, Nikisha Kramer, field data collector, pay grade 6. Clerk of courts, Diana Richardson, administrative specialist, pay grade 6. Ashley Woolley, criminal processing clerk, pay grade 5. Kevin Williams, criminal processing clerk, pay grade 5. In the communication center, Shirley Ham, administrative specialist, pay grade 6. In cooperative extension, Barbara Davenport, clerk 4, pay grade 5. In the courts, Phyllis Peace Guyette, clerk 3, pay grade 4. Stephanie Snyder, clerk 4, pay grade 5. Jerry Rook, executive secretary, pay grade 5. Katrina Ferguson, executive secretary, pay grade 5. In the district attorney's office, Alexandria Hensler, clerk 3, pay grade 4. In domestic relations, Carla Bergen, clerk 3, pay grade 4. In emergency medical services, Jennifer Hope, clerk 4, pay grade 5. In facility management, Regina Rooker, operations coordinator, pay grade 6. In hazmat, Irvin Temple, Sarah supervisor, specialist, pay grade 5. In juvenile probation, Nancy Ackley, administrative specialist, pay grade 6. Courtney English, clerk 3, pay grade 4. In information services, Rhonda Bodel, records retention coordinator, pay grade 6. In military affairs, Keely Hitchens, clerk 3, pay grade 4. In the prison, Tammy Toner, administrative specialist, pay grade 6. In the prothonotary, Brandy Leaches, civil processing clerk, pay grade 4. Sharon Green, civil processing clerk, pay grade 5. In the register and recorder, Dartha Washer, clerk 3, pay grade 4. Leslie Carnival, clerk 3, pay grade 4. Daniel Hartman, clerk 3, pay grade 4. In resource management services, Bethany Stugart, administrative specialist, training coordinator, pay grade 6. Deanna Nidegg, clerk 3, weighmaster, pay grade 4. Sharon Mull, clerk 3, weighmaster, pay grade 4. Michelle Egley, clerk 3, pay grade 4. Jessica DiBartolomo, clerk 3, AP weighmaster, pay grade 4. In the sheriff's office, Candace Dawes, Candice Dawes, clerk for pay grade 5, Michelle McDermott, administrative specialist, pay grade 6, Jennifer Hartley, clerk 3, pay grade 4, Charlene Matlick, clerk 3, pay grade 4, and finally in the conservation district, Mary Denise Moser, administrative specialist, pay grade 6.
Okay, can I have a motion?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second, and then discussion or comments.
So these positions were positions, and I might ask the personnel director to hop up there and correct me if I'm wrong. These positions are positions that had not previously been dealt with in the compensation adjustments that we had made throughout the county. And so in order to sort of bring some equity and closure to this compensation review for the time being, we made these adjustments, fully recognizing that at budget time, department heads may or may not ask in the future for reclassifications and so forth. But we're trying to get the department heads on a understanding that we do this at budget time. We do reclassifications at budget time, which means they need to look ahead. If they think that a position is not being compensated fairly because duties have changed in a demonstrable way over time, then they need to bring it to the attention of the commissioners at budget time so that an analysis can be done by the Human Resource Department as to what the job description is and if the job description warrants changing, et cetera. And this was the last group that had sort of not been dealt with. And so we are proposing these changes, and we hope that we'll have support of all involved. But that's really what this is about. If there's anything you want to add.
I think you nailed it. We looked at administrative clerical roles across the county that were sitting in pay grades 4, 5, and 6, and that did not receive a compensation policy adjustment in the fall of 2022 or in this calendar year. Or a reclassification in the fall of 2022 or this calendar year. So other than that, I think you nailed all the details.
And I want to go back a little bit, again, I want to recite the history of this. There has not been anything done to the county's compensation on a large scale since 1988. It's 35 years. And this board of directors of commissioners decided to tackle this last year. And I've spoken to other commissioners in other counties that have had similar pushbacks and challenges. Center County did one, Center County did one. It's not easy. It's not easy because these are tax dollars, and you can't raise the price. You can't raise the price on your product and pass it on to the consumer. So we have to live within our budget. What we've done is adjusted quite a few people in this county, tried to make it fair market value to what other jobs are paying that are comparable. And we've allocated, I believe, $1.2 million between that and the cost of living increase last year, which was, I believe that was 3.5. We understand our employees are the most important asset of the county. They are. Things don't get done without your employees. But at the same time, the taxpayers are paying the bills. And they are taxpayers themselves. So, to be fair and equitable, this was a group of individuals that worked extremely hard. Offices do not run without their administrative assistants. And these people they don't sit around at all. You walk by their offices, they're constantly working. And I believe these are absolutely justified. Now what we've done is we've put out for an RFP to look at the overall compensation in time to come, and the commissioner highlighted that these requests should be brought to us at budget time. so we can look at it and see whether they're warranted moving into the future. But these jobs have changed. They've evolved incredibly over the years. What they did 10 years ago isn't what they do nowadays. And there's a lot of stress in these positions also. So we'll take a look at that budget time, see what the compensation study says when we hire somebody, what their results are, and look to see where we still might have to make some adjustments, and go forward with the new board of directors, commissioners, and it'll be their decision at that time to make those adjustments.
Ms. Seagraves, what is the cost of this? I think you said it was 64,000 a
I
year?
think it was 63,000.
63,000 a year for this change?
Correct.
Right, okay. And to back up what Commissioner Metzger's saying, although this is 1.2 million, the total cost, we actually saved through COVID, through positions not being able to be filled, we saved, I think, in excess of $3 million, didn't we? Yeah. So the taxpayers can feel pretty good that we're actually, now obviously this goes on forever, right? Once you change someone's pay. But in the very near term, these costs will be covered by during the pandemic, when people were doing a lot of work, doubling up and so forth. And hopefully future boards will keep an eye on how many total employees they have. That's the key.
It's important that things are adjusted for retention too.
Yeah.
The market's very competitive out there, and it costs more for employees to leave and retrain new employees, and so it's important that we retain our employees and moving forward. So
I just wanted to say I've been inundated with emails and questions from employees about this. I would just say to refer to the letter that you received in January to determine if you received a compensation adjustment or a reclassification. Those two things, coupled with the type of position that you have and the pay grade, would determine if you would have been eligible. If you have questions, please call me. I'm happy to answer questions or help explain why the decision was made the way it was.
So every employee got a letter?
Every employee, non-union,
Right.
received a letter in January that explained their the changes to their compensation. It indicated whether they received a reclassification adjustment, a compensation policy adjustment, and then it also identified that they all received, the non-union employees received the 3.5% adjustment. So most of the questions I'm receiving are, why am I not on the list? And for the most part, the answer is going to be that you received one of those adjustments already, or you were hired in this calendar year, which means you are already assessed under the compensation policy. So I'm hoping that that's going to answer most questions, but I always want to make sure you understand. So if you have those questions, feel free to call, and I'm happy to help explain.
and we have approximately 400 employees that are not union.
About that, yep.
About that.
Yep.
And 198 of them had received a adjustment with the compensation study that we did.
Correct.
So about half.
Correct. And then I think this is 35 or 38 employees.
Yeah. And this list was originally about 80.
Right.
But we went through and saw who
Received the others, right.
Yeah.
Received
So
the other
that way they weren't
adjustments.
receiving the
Double, correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
So these are the ones we found that were justified, that hadn't received anything yet, that according to the compensation policy we felt should.
Correct.
And that's the reason why we're voting on this today. And again, 2014, they took the step system away. And in my opinion, at that time, that was fine because they couldn't afford the step system any longer.
Mm-hmm.
But there was nothing put in place
To replace it.
to replace it.
Right.
And therefore, salaries have drifted back. And,
Correct.
And so we need to adjust it. Plus, they hadn't been adjusted over the time for 35 years.
Right.
So it's important that we address this.
And what I always tell folks that I talk to is, it's taken quite a bit of time for us to kind of get to this place where we are now. and it's going to take a little bit of time for us to get to where we want to be. So I'm hopeful with the compensation analysis and study that we have an RFP out for. That's going to help us to establish a strategic compensation plan for the future, and that we can stay on top of this and stay competitive ongoing and not really get back into the situation that we've been in.
You know, Commissioner, I think it's important to remind everybody what the purpose of the compensation policy analysis was. And so in the, or during the time when we went through that process, we needed to find a way to be more competitive for recruiting purposes. And so in order to be more competitive, we needed a way to be able to offer something more than just the starting wage for a position. And so the policy looked at giving credit for additional experience and education above and beyond what the policy called for. And in order to do that with new employees, we had to apply that to that analysis across the workforce, and that's where we got the 198 folks in order to be fair and equitable across the board. And so I think it's important that everybody remembers that purpose, the employees, because that helped us get more folks in the door to fill those vacancies.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean,
they were doing two jobs.
Right.
Without the employee being next to them.
Right, and as we raised the starting wages, it affected the wages of everyone who was here already, which is what you're really saying. And it was a lot of work for HR to go through and work with the department heads to look at each employee individually and look at how many years of service they had. This was the policy the commissioners voted in. They got 1% up to 12 years of service. We gave credit for educational, if it was in the field that is their job. Bachelor, associate, bachelor, even graduate degrees,
Right.
if it was applicable.
If it's applicable, correct. And I want to say that I feel that this policy has helped us to meet that goal. And I have numbers here just from March of this year. We had 48 openings in March of 2023, and we're down to having only 26 openings. When I started, like I said last week, there was over 65 openings. So the changes that we've made over the course of the last year and a half have really helped us with recruitment. And I can't say enough about the health center, of course. That is an added benefit for all of our employees and has really helped from a recruitment perspective as well.
And it's important for the public to recognize that health center is going to reduce the cost of health care.
Absolutely.
We are a self-funded health care system. We pay every claim.
Dollar for dollar.
Dollar for dollar. If we find cancer in year 1 instead of in year 10, it's going to save literally hundreds of thousands of dollars. Because by the time it develops to year 5 or 10, not only is the employee at incredible risk, but the cost to the taxpayer is huge.
Right.
It's huge.
Absolutely.
So, and the same thing with the preventative care. When we send people in for colonoscopies, they're gonna find polyps that are going to be taken out, and so 5 or 7 years later, that person is not going to have colon cancer, and it's because of having the ability to have employees stay on top of their health care. So,
and in the last 3 years, through those proactive steps with their health care, we've driven the health insurance from 14 million down to 11 million. So we're going in the right direction. We want to continue to go in that direction. So the steps we've made have saved millions. And we'll continue to look for those innovative ideas to drive it down even further.
I also wanted to mention we're putting some work groups together for employees to be able to help drive our direction moving forward and to help us establish our HR strategy, our county strategy from an employment perspective. So I have a wellness group that I'm putting together, as well as an employee advisory committee, and I have a lot of interest in that. If you're interested, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm hoping to get those put together before the end of the month, which is tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Did you vote?
Not yet.
Okay.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor say, any other comments?
The controller has instructed me to vote no because of piecemealing the compensation.
Okay. All fair say aye?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay. Votes carried 2-1. Okay, thank you. Okay, this time we'll adjourn the salary board and we'll reconvene the Commissioners' public meeting at this time for TDA actions.
Yes, this is minor change to the TDA
Thank
for
you.
for RMS, changing the Resource Recovery Assistant Manager position to an exempt status.
Have a motion.
I'll move to approve.
And on second, all fair say aye? Aye, so carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. So at this time, we'll recess the Commissioners' public meeting for the Board of Assessments revisions. And we'll convene the Board of Assessments revisions at this time. Good morning, Brooke.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm seeking your approval for 2 real estate refunds. The first one is for Winsport Hospitality. The value was changed on the parcel due to a court order. The refund amount is $18,153.17. I do want to mention that this was a result of a 2021 appeal that was effective for the 2022 tax year. It was not settled until this year, so there's 2 years of county taxes in that refund.
Okay.
For the next property is CS Hospitality. The value was changed on the parcel due to a court order also as a result of an appeal in 2021, effective for the 2022 tax year. That refund amount is $2,116.97.
So, Brooke, in these court appeals, the taxpayer alleged that the assessed value was greater than what they believed it was, and they came in with an appraisal?
Yes, that is correct. Their appraisal was $7,140,000. We did retain an appraiser on our side. He reviewed the appraisal that was submitted to us and did not think it was beneficial for us to get an appraisal. So we settled with the $7.14 million.
Okay, and these are hotels?
Yes, that is correct. The Winsport Hospitality Hotel is the Candlewood Suites down on the Golden Strip. The other parcel is the Fairfield Suites Hotel over on Maynard Street.
Okay. And so, of course, the appraisal was driven by the revenue or the income that both of them had, right?
Yes, that is correct.
And so income was down because we didn't have people coming to stay there, so as a result of that income, they were able to, the assessed value, or the appraised value was less, and then they were able to go to a judge, make the presentation. In the second case, did we also not think it worthwhile to get an appraisal?
The appraiser who reviewed it did not think he could get an appraised value higher than that $7.1 million.
Right, right. And then, of course, they took that and they applied the common level ratio, right?
Yes, that is correct. So then it dropped it down to $3,998,400. And that's what I have to base taxes off of.
So, Brooke, if we engage in reassessment and this happened, and assuming that we didn't have a common level ratio, I see in one case it was 0.56 for 2023. I think in the other one it was 0.61 for 2020.
If we engage in a reassessment, we will not be using common level ratio. We will be at 100% market value.
Right, so even if they come in to make an appeal, we won't be taking an almost 50% reduction in the assessed value. Now, through the assessment process, their assessed value may come in differently, right?
Correct, that is correct.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, they take that risk.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions?
No.
Have a motion?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second. All fair side?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Brooke.
Thank you, Commissioners.
We'll adjourn the Board of Assessments revisions at this time. Reconvene the Commissioners' public meeting for action items.
All right, Commissioners, 8.1, seeking your approval on Resolution 2023-12. This resolution urges the General Assembly of the Commonwealth to reauthorize Chapter 53 of Title 35 of the Pennsylvania Consolidated Statutes with 911 surcharge increase to support next-gen 911 system across the Commonwealth.
Okay, a motion.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second. Is Hutch? Ben? Available? No? Okay. Commissioner, you want to make any statements on this?
Well, I was going to say, I think it's important for the public to understand that the funding for the 911 system comes through surcharges. And what's happening is basically the time that those surcharges were good for is running out. This resolution is telling the General Assembly and the Governor the system has worked. Collecting that money and funneling it to 911 has allowed the counties to keep the 911 system operating. And obviously the 911 system is critical to our county. They're going to pay, the public's going to pay a little more. But at the end of the day, knowing that when you call 911, someone is there to pick it up and someone is there to dispatch is literally critical to all of our lives.
It's 5 years.
Right.
Commissioners, this is Beth Manning.
Yes.
Oh, please.
Morning, Beth.
Good morning. Yeah, the reason for this resolution, what the governor's office is putting into their budget is a lesser amount than what CCAP in this resolution is asking for. The governor's put in, I believe, $1.97 is the 911 amount that's being recommended, and then an additional 6% for 811, which is, that's only a small increase. Currently, the amount is $1.65. Increase up to $1.97. That's not enough to compensate for the amount of funding that 911 needs to stay afloat. That is what this resolution is asking, for a larger increase and then a yearly increase on top of that, so that we are not stuck at the same funding level for 5, 8, 10 years again, like we have been in this cycle, due to the fact that currently you try to stay afloat on the budget that you have, but many counties are having 40% shortfalls, and then the county government is having to pick up those shortfalls with tax dollars, and it's very difficult to keep your 911 centers with the technology they need, and then you're putting that burden on your taxpayers. So that's what this resolution is really standing for, asking for that small increase per cell phone or landline bill that a person is paying per month, so that those huge deficits don't fall into your county taxpayers.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Beth? Okay, can I have a motion?
I'll move to approve.
And I'll second. All fair side?
Aye.
Aye, so carried. Okay, thank you, Beth, for joining us.
You're welcome.
8.2, Commissioners seeking your approval on Resolution 2023-14, supporting increased funding for community-based mental health services. Do you want to read the whole thing, or do you want to bring?
Well, we have Keith here. Keith, would you like to address this?
Actually, Mr. Hickman can.
Oh, okay. Morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you, Commissioners, for this resolution and for bringing attention to the mental health to a mental health system in crisis. Good morning. My name is Jim Hecklin, and I'm the County Mental Health Program Director at the Lycoming Clinton Joinder. Flatline funding and budget cuts over the last 2 decades have turned what was a robust and responsive service delivery system into a crumbling system in danger of collapse. Not just here in Lycoming County, but across Pennsylvania, we see mental health needs far exceeding available resources. The imbalance creates added expense and strain on our local medical systems, school systems, legal systems, and our families. But the largest burden is borne on the backs of the 1 in 5 adults who will experience some form of mental health difficulty over the coming year, and those living with chronic persistent mental illness. It's these individuals who are forced to wait on extensive wait lists to see a psychiatrist or a therapist, or to travel out of town for the supports and services which they should be receiving here at home. Failure by the Commonwealth to adequately fund the mental health system has forced mental health administrators to defund programs such as group homes, partial hospitalization programs, and specialized long-term structured residential programs, each of which is a piece in a continuum of care which had in the past diverted our consumers from involvement with law enforcement, legal systems, and state hospitalization. Equally as important, it provided consumers the ability to receive services in their own community. Due to the closure of the above-mentioned programs, we see our county jails and local emergency rooms being called upon to serve as residential facilities for individuals with mental health difficulties, a role which neither were intended to serve. We see police officers being called upon to serve as frontline crisis intervention specialists and therapists, roles for which police were never intended to serve. Sadly, and all too frequently, we learn of another suicide occurring in Lycoming County because someone has grown weary and hopeless and unable to cope any longer with the symptoms of their illness. Over the past couple of years, the mental health system has benefited from a number of funding opportunities in the form of grants through the federal government. While these funds have certainly helped a cash-strapped mental health system, these funds are one-time only and not sustainable. Consequently, what we see is a flash-in-the-pan response to a crisis 20 years in the making. This is not an adequate response. The only way to end this crisis is through our lawmakers in Harrisburg making a long-term commitment to rebuild a sustainable, forward-thinking service delivery system through long-term increase in mental health-based funding. In closing, I'd just like, again, thank you for the opportunity to speak today and for your bringing this matter to the forefront.
Okay, thank you.
So, this funding is specifically for adults in the mental health system, also for children?
Mm-hmm. It's base funding.
It's base funding. It's our base level that we get.
Right.
What do we get in the county now for base level?
Just over $4 million.
So-
We've received just over $4 million since 2005.
So I hope that the public really needs to hear that, right?
Yeah.
$4 million in 2005 for mental health base funding. $4 million in 2023 for mental health base funding. No change in 18 years.
Doesn't go as far.
Doesn't go, absolutely not. In fact, it probably goes worth about $2 million when you take into account, and the last couple of years of inflation have even degraded it more. So I think one of the things that we really need to focus on is this stigma. We have to get, as a public, we have to get away from having a stigma about mental health. If I said to you that we got $4 million for cancer research and cancer care in 2003, and 20 years later you're only getting $4 million, you'd say, well, wait a second. Why aren't we doing something? Diabetes, right? Musculoskeletal, opioid, all these things, right? We got to try as people to realize that having a mental health issue is no different than having appendicitis or anything else, except that we have a big old target on our backs when we try to get treatment for it, and it keeps a lot of people from seeking treatment.
Sure. Well, I think one of the most important things about base funding is the flexibility. You don't have the regulations and whatnot on what you can't spend it on and whatnot. So it leaves mental health administrators a lot of flexibility with being creative in meeting the specific needs of their community.
My one big concern, and I know this is Representative Ham's concern too, he shared this with me and I agree with him, that with the increase in the mental health funding, which is drastically needed, which we've been advocating for, the state is putting in there that it's going to go to the counties with competitive grant writing. So I think it's going to hurt certain counties that don't have those grant writers that can put their best foot forward. I think it's going to hurt rural counties. I think more monies are going to be going to the urban areas, and the rural counties are going to suffer as a result. And I don't think we're going to get as much because of that caveat they put in there that it's going to go to competitive grants.
It doesn't seem equitable.
It doesn't, and I think that's wrong. I think the state needs to reevaluate that, and they need to say, listen, this is what's going to go to the counties. Let the counties, they know what's best, what's going on in their own counties. Let them solve their own issues without putting these extra restrictions on it.
And what it's led us to have to do is hire a grant writer.
Right.
Which we're going to be able to use the funding, the one-time funding to hire the grant writer, but to sustain them, the money's going to have to come from the grants over time, or from that base money that, I mean, so you're right, it's self-defeating.
It is. I mean, we're using money that could be used to help somebody, to pay somebody who's going to be a grant writer.
Right.
For what?
So what was the rationale, or what is the rationale in Harrisburg for distributing it based on competitive grants?
I have no idea.
Okay. I don't think they know.
Yeah. So that's the 150, the extra 150, right?
Right.
This resolution is calling for above and beyond this one-time shot that we're getting from the federal government for from the ARP funds, right?
Right. Yeah. What we're asking for, what CCAP is asking for, is to recognize that it's been flat funded for almost 20 years,
right,
and begin in some incremental way to increase that so that those services we've had to cut can be restored, and not just one-time infusions of cash that come and go from time to, which is what happens with the grants too, if the grants aren't sustained.
Right, because that one-time infusion doesn't allow you to develop and build a mental health infrastructure which has been basically collapsed over the last 20 years. And you need a sustainable amount of money that you know that if you hire therapists and you put them in facilities or schools or whatever, that the money's going to be there.
Well, and so that rolls down, right? Because there's fewer people seeking those degrees because they've looked at it and gone, there's not going to be a job there, or it's not going to be sustained, or it's not going to be able to pay me when I need to pay back my student loans. So they just don't go in the field.
All right. Well, we encourage our residents to call up your state senators and reps and even your federal folks and tell them that we need to commit more money to mental health in general. How it's done, is another issue. But
give it to the counties and let the counties distribute
right,
the way they know how, without these extra.
Well, and in the areas that are unique, like Lycoming County is unique compared to Dauphin County, or and Dauphin County is unique compared. So our needs are not the same, and the way that we're going to go about addressing them are going to be slightly different. So yeah, the flexibility of the funding, as Jim said, is tremendous for us.
Okay.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
Have a motion.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so carried.
Point 3, Commissioners seeking your approval of the Williamsport Investment Program Summary of Terms with Arcturus Impact Investors, LLC.
Okay, can I have a motion?
I'll move to approve.
Second. I'll second.
So this is an opportunity and also an exciting question for us to hear from the public about. We mentioned this last week, that the First Community Foundation Partnership approached the county, the city, and the Chamber of Commerce about participating in an investment fund that involves first loss capital with the Chamber, the city, the county, and the First Community Foundation, each putting in about $1,250,000. Now, they would be loans to the fund, and we really want the public's input on this, I think, although it's something that you need to dig into, and some people might have an immediate reaction to it. You really need to to understand all the details. We put in 5 million.
Not us.
Not us, the group, right, the four of us.
Yeah.
And the investment fund puts in $20 million, okay, in the community. It's an investment.
It's in the opportunity zones. The 3 opportunity zones are all in Williamsport.
Right,
Yeah.
right, that's a very important part. This is a federal tax opportunity zone. There are 3 of them in Williamsport, and that's where the money would be invested. But the reason that it's exciting is because it brings $25 million of investment to the community. Think, for example, that the ARP funds that we got were $22 million, and the city got $25 million, and so this is an additional $25 million. Now, it's not the way the ARP funds were, where we controlled what we did with them, right? The fund makes the decision as to where they're going to invest it. And some examples of what they could invest in would be community-centric real estate, including downtown revitalization projects such as mixed-use residential retail, commercial or industrial projects, construction operation of real estate that supports health outcomes, such as grocery stores and food deserts or health facilities, with an emphasis on underserved communities in the target investment area. These are just examples. Investments that create or preserve living wage jobs in the target investment area with an emphasis on underserved communities or minority populations. Market rate housing with an emphasis on underserved or underdeveloped communities. So there would be an advisory board set up, and that advisory board would be made up of people from the entities that are doing the investing, along with some others. But it is an advisory board, meaning that the fund has the final decision on where the investment is going to be. Obviously, they're going to take into account what we say, but they also may help us see some things that we may not see. For example, we might say, oh, let's build a water park in the opportunity zone. And they might say, well, the only trouble with that is that you really only got 2 seasons of the year when you can use it. I'm using a really simple example to help myself understand, right?
Water park's not real popular.
I know it's not. That's why I said that. But the point is that it's an opportunity for us to get investment. This is the part that's really important for people to understand. It's a loan with an initial 9-year term, and there can be, which could be 15 years. The loan is paid off, for the first 9 years, the loan accrues interest at the rate of 2%. None of it's paid until the end of the term of the loan. And the last 6 years, if it were extended, it goes at a rate based on some federal funds rates. But the loan may never be paid back because it's what is called first loss capital, which is kind of an interesting term. First loss capital means you're the first to lose your capital, the last to be paid back, right? And first the fund has to have, after the 9th anniversary, the principal amount can be repaid, provided there have been 0 realized losses in the Williamsport investment. Arcturus has returned to the investors who put up the $20 million their capital, and they've received an annualized return equal to 6%. So it's different than the loan we made for the mall, right? The loan we made for the mall, not only was it protected, but it accrued interest, and it's going to be paid back.
Plus, we're the first lien holders equal.
Right, we're the first lien holders in that. So this is something we need to think about as a community. This document today that we're voting on is non-binding. It's a non-binding document. And I'm not trying to sugarcoat it, and I'm also not trying to be negative about it, but I want everyone to go in with eyes wide open, because we don't want people saying to us, what did you do? It is not often that we get an opportunity to put $25 million into our community. I mean, let's face it, without the ARP funds, it wouldn't happen. And the goal is that if we do this, we will spur economic development, and other people will come out of the woodwork and make investments. And I didn't know that Jen was here.
Yeah.
She wants to speak.
Yeah.
On it. Yeah.
We have Jim Wilson.
maybe she doesn't want to speak on it.
I'll do whatever you want. I
Yeah,
just thought I
come-
should be here.
Yeah, come up if you want to
Come
come.
up to the podium, please. Now, First Community Foundation, the board has voted on it.
Yes.
To move forward with it, to explore it. City Council has voted to move forward with it, to explore it.
And the chamber voted to move forward to explore it, all understanding that it's non-binding. Have I been fair in my description?
I think you actually did a really great job.
Okay,
You
I
did
mean,
a
I'm
great
serious.
job.
I'm not trying to, I want us to be aware of what we're doing, that there's a goal here too, and I think maybe you can give us some perspective on what $25 million means in terms of investment.
I think the only thing that I would add is that, the foundation was introduced to this organization. They do social impact funding across the United States, and they've done a lot of work in Erie, particularly with the Erie Community Foundation. And so having a connection to that community foundation, we're able to learn a little bit more about our terrace. And the $5 million threshold we realized was not something that FCFP could do by itself, but that we really felt like this was a unique opportunity. We've seen what it's done in some other communities, and these federal opportunity zones have been around for a number of years now. They're designated, but they were designated by the federal government, but really areas focused in our town where we're not seeing a lot of activity and economic development. And so that was appealing to us. It's not often that we have an opportunity to impact economic development. FCFP does grant making in a variety of areas, health, human service, recreation, the arts, a lot of wonderful things, but we also have an interest in economic development because we know that that in itself is so important to our community and the quality of life of the people who are living here. And so when we were faced with this idea of a $5 billion threshold, we thought, who would be the most likely partners? And so we approached the city and the chamber and the county and said, might this be something that we explore together, knowing that there was this sort of deadline for us to make a decision on whether this is something we want to pursue. This is, as the commissioners have said, a non-binding but one that basically says, yes, we have an interest, yes, we have the financial capacity to do this, and then we would work over the next couple months to finalize a legal document if we decide to move forward.
And I note in the document that we're voting on, it says that the terms are subject to negotiation. So, for example, if there were some terms there that we wanted to negotiate on, whether it's the 6-year extension, or you're not going to be able to negotiate on the first loss capital because that is the whole point of the fund. But I mean, I could be wrong. Everything's open to negotiation.
Well, I mean, so we would be working with their private investors who certainly have, there are benefits to them to be in this social impact fund from an investment standpoint, but, they will be the first to be paid on any projects.
Yeah. Commissioner, I think you could compare this to a letter of intent for the purchase of a property.
Yep.
It's not binding, but it establishes the process moving forward.
That's a good description.
One of the areas that I also would want to negotiate with them are the management fees. I noticed in the document that there are management fees that the parties pay. So just throwing that out there.
Yeah, so with all of those negotiations, what happened with our terrace, not with the First Community
I
Foundation.
know. I'm just putting it out there because that's.
We really just felt our role as a convener and having an opportunity to bring together groups that we thought could do this work and to see if there was a possibility to bring this to Williamsport.
Yeah, no, and we appreciate that you've done this because it's because of the fact that we have a foundation, the First Community Foundation partnership, that they're able to come up with the $1.25 million either as a grant or a loan, and that's the result of all the people who contribute to that. To the foundation. And hopefully it leverages and brings in additional investment.
And I think the reason why we're voting on this today is because the timeline that if we don't, they're going to move on.
Right.
And they're going to move on to, I believe, Ohio, from what I understand. So.
Well, they would do multiple communities, so it wouldn't necessarily be that they, move on away from us. I mean, we could potentially have the opportunity to work with them in the future, but they have raised their private capital, and if we want to be part of this fund, now would be the time for us to decide that we're serious about moving forward.
Right, because they need to invest the money that they've raised.
The only other thing I would add to this is that even before we kind of came with this idea, we did hold some sessions last fall with leaders in the community, stakeholders, elected officials, where we introduced them to Arcturus, not to talk about specifically how this would work, but what are some of the challenges that we are facing in the city of Williamsport that we could try and address. And one of the things we've heard is we have lots of opportunities for jobs, but not necessarily a population that is able to support them. And so, one of the questions that we've really thought about is how can we make Williamsport an attractive place to live and a place that people want to stay. And so we're thinking about, what, in looking at these zones, what kinds of things can we cultivate and create that allow people to want to live here, to want to stay here, and specifically live and by this creation of market rate housing, which we've been told is a challenge within the city.
Yeah, and 2 points on that. It isn't as though we just heard about this yesterday. I'm really glad you brought that up. We actually have been going to meetings since December of 2022, multiple meetings that all 3 commissioners have attended, along with members of City Council and the Chamber and the Foundation. So we have been mulling this and chewing it over. And then the other part of what Ms. Wilson talked about, for folks who live outside the city, you might say, well, this is Williamsport. The reality is that Williamsport is the economic engine of this county. And when Williamsport goes up, this whole county grows. And when Williamsport declines, the entire county declines. Whether it's the levy with the amount of economic tax base that's behind the levy, whether it's the jobs at the largest employers, UPMC, the county, the state government, all of these entities, we need to build it up to repopulate this county.
And this will be the last thing I say, but the folks from Arcturus, when they came in, I think one of the things that was appealing to them about Williamsport is that they have something that other communities they've seen success in has, and that is anchor institutions in a healthcare system within the city, as well as colleges. So those were 2 kind of ingredients that they felt made us a good location for them to potentially invest.
Yeah.
The county doesn't thrive 100% unless this county seat is growing and thriving. And Williamsport's our county seat, so it's important that it thrives for the county to thrive.
That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, motion.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so carried.
8.4, Commissioner seeking your approval on the business rental preferred rate agreement with Penrac, or more commonly known as Enterprise.
Have a motion?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second. This is a 2023 budgeted items. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so carried.
8.5, Commissioner seeking your approval to award the bid for flood mitigation, acquisition, and demolition to Steinbacher Enterprises Incorporated in the amount of $84,464. This is a CDBG, DR, and HMGP funded action.
Okay, motion?
I'll move to approve.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so carried.
And 8.6, Commissioner seeking your approval on the letter of intent with the Lycoming Clinton Joinder Board. And this is to lease space at 3rd Street Plaza for their move to the 4th floor.
Okay, which is to be completed by July 31st of 2024.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. I have a motion.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second. Comments?
Yeah, I
Keith?
think Mr. Wagner
Yeah.
was going to...
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm as the director of the Joinder, we've been experiencing over the last few years, as we talked about earlier, the flat budgeting for mental health. We pay rent out of that budget. Through the pandemic, we've come to realize that most of what our county caseworkers do, they do out in the community. They don't need as much space, and so we're in a large space right now that is costing over $40,000 a month, that if we can consolidate into a smaller space, less rent, all of that money can then pour back into services. So for us, this is actually a real exciting economic move. And it also gives us the opportunity to then have all of the staff on one floor, all of the services on one floor. We interact with each other all day long, and we're currently running up and down floors and through the building. This will put us all in one place. It puts us downtown where most of the other services are. Not that we're far from downtown now, but it puts us right across from the courthouse, which, we work with the court and the prison, and many of the human service agencies are in the area.
So it's a savings of $572,000, and $380,000 of that can be put back into mental health
Right back
services.
into services, yes.
Back into services. So we're excited to have this opportunity to have you join us in the TSP building. We'll be on the 3rd floor by the end of the year, and you folks will be on the 4th floor. I'll definitely change the environment, the backdrop of that building, and it's a great way for county government to be in one building, services to be in one building for the constituents, and move forward with the plans. I think it's a good overall plan moving forward. And like you said, as from COVID, you realized you didn't need 40,000 square feet anymore.
No.
And a lot of those caseworkers are working down in the field more often.
Correct. Yeah.
So the public also understands that we're going to be able to, because the joinder shares with Clinton County, right?
Right.
Some of the money that previously had been paid to the private party from Clinton will be able to be paid for, explain, sort of, if you recall from Rhonda,
so the way that we can contribute into, so we can contribute into the cost of the building, right? So if there's a mortgage or whatever, we can pay our share of that.
Right. Which we have a bond, right?
Correct. We can pay our share of the heat and the rent, or the electricity and
right.
all of that. And so, right, that comes out of our budget, out of Lycoming Children. And the way the budgets work, we get all of it as one thing, but it's split roughly 75-25 between Lycoming County and Clinton County. It's based on population size.
Right.
So we have a separate facility in Clinton County that the 25% helps to cover that.
So the payment is going to be able to cover both principal and interest on the bond.
Correct.
And although some may say, well, their property taxes, the prior building was a triple net lease, which meant that the joinder paid the property taxes. The taxpayers paid the property taxes.
Yes.
They paid the maintenance. They paid the upkeep. So this, and that had been going on for a long time, this is a great, great move for the people of this county. I hope the public understands that. It's almost a 10% increase. And we plowed $380,000 back into mental health services, and we have just on the base mental health side. Right?
Correct.
Because
Yeah,
there's the intellectual disabilities. I mean, there's the
mental health and
youth
intellectual disabilities, and the children and youth side, which Matt can talk to a little more. They pay, the funding comes directly from the county. So if they're not needing to pay that much in rent, they're not asking you for that funding.
Right.
You have an entire floor, so it's 1/6. There's 6 floors over there. It's 1/6 being paid towards the bond.
Right.
Yeah.
It's really good for the public. It's really good for the public, and we're thrilled that we brought all the pieces together to do it.
Yeah, and so are we.
I know you guys are excited about
Yeah.
the layout and so forth. So
It's great always being on one floor.
Yeah.
ultimately, it serves the clients better. It serves the public better, and so that's great. Okay.
And again, we want to thank the landlord, the previous owner, for working with us for 20-plus years.
Oh, even longer than that, yeah. We've been in that building since the mid-'80s.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah.
So, yeah,
I
it's
think
been
I
over
was
30
thinking-
years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, we have a good
It's-
relationship with him.
Then,
Yeah.
I think it was 88, I think they were.
88, yeah.
Yeah. Lost track of time.
And we do appreciate all that he's done for 30 years.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Motion? Second?
Yeah.
All fair side?
Aye.
So carried.
8.7, Commissioners seeking your approval on the agreement with Frank and Tilio in the amount not to exceed $20,000. This is a 2023 budgeted item, and this is for expert forensic psychology services, specifically for the Commonwealth versus Caden Ernst, and then any other public defender cases after that.
Okay, motion?
I'll move to approve.
Second, all fair side?
Aye.
Aye, so carried.
8.8, Beth, you still on?
Yes, good morning, Commissioners, good morning, Director.
Morning.
This is an agreement between ourselves and Technology Enterprise Group. This is for the mock software for the 6 systems in the 911 center at $37.50 per month for those 6 computers at the price for 2023, a budgeted item of $1,350.
Okay, motion?
I'll move to approve.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner comment.
Anything? We have 4th of July holiday coming up, and next week there'll be activities downtown and throughout the county with fireworks displays, and just ask everybody to please be safe, especially if they're around fireworks, and be very careful as you handle them, and we don't want anybody getting severe burns. We're devastating when someone gets burned, so we hopefully everybody will be responsible and enjoy the holiday with your families. Okay, public comment.
Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning, Director. Mark Sortman of Lowestoft Township. I just would like to reiterate that it's a great thing that you guys did vote to get out of that lease. I thought that was just a costly expense for the taxpayers. But with the conversations of that, I just kind of triggered in my mind. Obviously, you also made the decision, which I think was a great decision, to sell this building. Is that progressing? Or
Yes.
do we have a close date or anything like that for the public, or is that not public knowledge yet? I mean, that's okay if it's not.
We currently are, we have a draft agreement of sale that's been sent to Horizon Credit Union, and we're just waiting on them to get back to us with any changes that they may want to see.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, guys.
And we've got our plans revealed that we're moving.
Yeah, last week there were the plans here, and so I figured everything was moving along.
Everything's moving along. Yep.
Just this conversation
Yeah.
stirred my thought process. So thank you.
Yeah, I think our plan is to be out of here by December 31st, 2023.
Yep.
Yeah, if everything works out.
Everything works out.
Everything works out.
That's the goal.
Good.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, Mark. Anybody else? Yep. Oh, I also want to add, while you're coming up to the podium, Jersey Shore is having their week-long activities for Founder's Day up in Jersey Shore from July 2nd to the 8th, I believe. And we'll be attending the parade on July 6th up there, and so we want to bring that to everybody's attention to visit Jersey Shore during their week-long celebration. Go ahead, Tom.
Thank you. Good morning.
Yeah.
Tom Adams, Williamsport. It's probably one of my favorite times of the year is July 4th.
Mm-hmm.
We get to celebrate our country, its founding, and its struggles. The struggles should make us better, not worse, if we keep our eyes on the Lord, right? As our founders, saw it that way. Psalms 25:14, the seeker of the Lord is with those who fear him, and he will make them know his covenant. And I know I mention this a lot, and my letter writing has dropped off for a little while. I don't know why. I guess I've just been kind of busy getting letters to the paper. But we had founders, even before the people that wrote our Declaration and Constitution men like John Winthrop, who founded Boston, and a city set on the hill. He took that out of scripture. That's where the 9/11 attack started from too. And he gave a warning once: if this country turns its back on its dedicated purpose to serve God and be a light to the world and to take the gospel to the world, we're going to have trouble. And that's where 9/11 attack started from. Jonathan Cahn points that out a lot in his messages. He's a Messianic pastor. You can catch him on YouTube. A lot of excellent things. He puts the connections between ancient Israel and the gods of those days and the ancient world and how they were destructive, and it seems like they're coming back because we pushed Christianity out. And along those lines, we see wickedness, at the highest places now. We have wicked leaders that ignore the Constitution. It's up to us to stand on the Constitution. In the life of me, when these people take an oath to uphold the Constitution, they don't do it, they should be thrown out of office. And I saw it even with when Trump was in office, and not just him, but this stuff has been going on for decades. When you have, and just one thing sticks in my mind, people in Oregon that took the oath to uphold the Constitution, protect their, in other words, protect their citizens, let those riots continue and destroy the cities and murders that go on, and they weren't thrown out of office, and the president didn't do anything to keep the citizens of the country safe, because that's his duty. And I think he may have been fearful that, well, he's going to get, called a dictator. Well, you do your job, and that's, I voted for the man, but he wasn't perfect, and there are big concerns when it comes to constitutional responsibility, and godly responsibility is the number one thing that we need, because if we don't have a recognition of God, we're doomed, because that's how we were started out. Manasseh in the Old Testament, he was the most wicked king in Israel, Judah and Israel, and he was so wicked that God decided that's it. He's going to bring destruction to Judah also. But he repented at the very last end of his life. He repented, but the damage was done. And the point is, they had godly values. They had direct communication from God, how they're supposed to run their government, and they ignored it. And that's what happens when you have wicked leaders and the people don't hold them accountable. They let them run amok. This is what comes.
Okay, thank you, Tom. Anybody else?
I've got one online.
Yes.
Christopher Cooper. Jennifer Hartley. Even criminals get a raise in this county.
Okay. We have concluded our agenda, so our next meeting will be next Thursday, July the 6th, right here at 10 a.m. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy your day, everybody. I think they were here for South Central. I think that's what.
Same to you. Hey, Rick, how are you?
See you upstairs.
Nathan just came in from Murder Beach.
Oh, nice.
It rained
Did it?
the entire week.
Ah, was that your vacation?
So my husband and I, we have
Yeah.